Last video, we started working on our 84 Regal, getting it ready to put a new front end, header panel, fender, hood, you know, whole 9 yards just to fix what we've wrecked. And then we can begin with our VG swap. Last video I mentioned I have a bunch of cars that are 90% of the way done. I know I said I wasn't going to make any other kind of video on this car, but since we're down to literally the last little bit and we need to get it done so we can get our slick top in the shop and get it repaired, it's time for us to finish this convertible. There's literally just a handful of things that it needs, but here is our convertible that we have been restoring. We redid the whole underbody, manual swapped it, got it running, and now we're ironing out the last little bit of problems. So other than getting this thing registered, which I have to get a VIN check done, so we will probably tackle this first, mainly so we can get the chief of police over here while he's still on duty, and actually to be able to do a VIN check on this thing. Yep, still looks pretty decent. So let's go grab our jump pack, let's fire this thing up, and let's move it so we can begin to work on it. This thing works tremendously as a water deterrent. We take what we can get out here. Fires right up every time. So I just had like a mini heart attack, went running, chasing my tail everywhere through my house, in my barn, looking for this title, the VIN check paper, my insurance, all that. Cannot find it. Only to come and find out it was all sitting right here in our glove box. Smart guy, I know. I'm wondering if it needs some new O2 sensors. It does this weird little backfire whenever it gets warm, but on the cold start, it fires right up perfect every time. It's kind of intermittent too. We made a little list of kind of everything we need to finish out this car. Ooh, we need some radiator brackets. Good thing I noticed that. Here's a couple things on the list that I know we need to at least sort out. Got some dash vents, radiator brackets, a seat control because the seat is totally maxed backwards. Some RTV to stick our mirror back on, and our ECU board, obviously. I totally forgot. I was like, wait, there's a fifth item here somewhere. Maybe we'll just start with the easy things. Unfortunately, these are always broken when I pull them out of a car, because usually when someone sells a car and it ends up as a parts car, it's sat in their yard or a junkyard or something for too long. I think that's the best it's gonna get. Now for the two-piece. Hopefully we can get this to fit together right by putting it in separately. There we go. Doesn't look terrible. It'll do. Because what choice do we have? These radiator brackets are gonna be pretty simple. We just have a 10 mil on each side, but I actually did just replace the bushings in them. I actually found a pair of these on Rock Auto for like $5, so you can still find some pretty neat things on there that don't necessarily have to be OEM. Hopefully these bushings aren't too tight to where this thing doesn't want to mount. Nope, looks perfect. Honestly, with the price of that being so cheap, I'm gonna have to stock up on these because that is a must. I'm doing that to every single Z I got. They just look terrible when they're all cracked out, and that kind of surprises me how much something so little goes so far. So it looks like someone has tried to adhere the mirror. Maybe that's the stock adhesion stuff. That's a shame. I can't remember if that was originally broke. So I think we're just gonna dap up some RTV on those same spots, sit it back, have kind of like a suction method going on. Probably gonna get replaced at some point by Eric. Just try to line it up as evenly as possible. It has like a little housing that it sits in, and that's pretty much all you're trying to seat it in. Oh yeah, I don't think that's gonna come out. I guess that leads us to our ECU board, because this one, I don't know, we may have to pull the seat for this whole nonsense. That's still to be determined though. So we actually got this ECU in here. This is an auto ECU. Since we manual swapped this car, this is my only manual ECU I have on hand. So I'm actually wanting to test this with our manual wiring harness in an auto car to try to get some test results to see what's swappable. So we're not actually gonna bolt this in for now. All right, now all the easy stuff on the list is done. Just went up to City Hall, requested our VIN check, so now we're just gonna sit up here, work on our door alignment or sag until they get here. So all we need for this is a 10 mil, 12 mil, and a jack. So we need to start off by disconnecting the bumper from the fender right here, so then we can actually unbolt the rest of the fender and drop it off. That'll give us access to the door hinge bolts, so we can loosen them up and tweak the door up higher before we tighten them down. Sorry if the viewing's kind of weird with all the shade. I don't really have another choice parked up here waiting on the fin check. I actually don't think we'll have to pull the full bumper off here. I think we'll be lucky enough just to drop it down enough to be able to get access. Earwigs. That explains the big gap. There's literally nothing even holding it on over here. I think the only thing holding it on, yep, bolting a nut. Now before we unbolt anything, we're going to start with the bottom of the fender here. Once it's all out from the bottom, remove this one up here, which apparently we have not put in, since, you know, this fender's going to need replaced. We're including another one with the trade. Now we've got 3 to remove. Now that we have access to our door hinges, these are the 3 bolts per hinge that we're going to loosen up. Before we do that, we want to support the door. And we have this low pro jack, and we're going to put a piece of wood on top to act as a bushing in between the jack and the door. 2 hard surfaces mating each other, not usually a good time. While keeping your door as close to your chassis as possible without, you know, like hitting your rocker with your jack, barely lift up. Just get it where it's tight on the door. Now there's not really much sag. If anything, it's just the play in the hinges. Let's crack all 6 of these loose. Now we have that loosened up. So we're going to lift our door. This will be a matter of trial and error. You're probably going to do it a few times before you get it right. Now that we lifted it up, maybe like an inch, since ours was drastically out of alignment, tighten all of our bolts back, we let it down. Let's see about where it closes. It's still sagging a bit. What I'm thinking here is these hinges are actually still stuck with all the seam sealer, so we're actually going to have to loosen it a little extra and lift it to break it loose. So we raised it up again, and you can see down here that seam sealer definitely cracked. You can see back there as well that it cracked, and it should be working now. So let's snug them all back up now that we got it raised a little bit higher than it should be, and let's retest. Yeah, it's the little things. That was honestly the worst thing for us to have to do today, if I remember correctly. Which actually does remind me, are any of you guys subscribed? If you're not, you should consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Helps our channel out, helps us grow, and opens up more possibilities for us to do cooler things. Hope you consider it. I don't even know what's next. I was expecting this to go a little bit less favorable. Maybe we'll just go ahead, throw this fender back on, get all that mounted back up, and check the list. Like Santa Claus, check it twice. Hopefully this goes on as easy as it came off. I would have to say that was pretty easy. I just had a thought, why don't we go grab a permanent marker and a cutoff wheel so we can actually trim up this little plate we have on our shifter, so that way we can fit our interior pieces. Gotta stay productive today. This is supposed to be a single day video, and I've got a bunch of side work to do this week, so we gotta keep on keeping on. Permanent marker acquired. Maybe we'll just trim these ears off. Yeah, it's a terrible line. Let's just trim these ears off too. We're also obviously gonna just chop this off. That'll probably hinder fitment more than any of it. Alrighty. Let's give her a shave and a haircut. Definitely gonna go find a vise or something to set this up. I'm not about to hurt myself for no apparent reason. I guess we'll be back once it's done. So this is about what we've came up with. It's gonna be oriented this way, and instead of us keeping the step on here to hold it on this bracket before we weld it, we trim this off because this actually jumps down and it should hug right there. I was gonna leave the lip on this side, but I decided to leave this instead since it does stick down a little bit and will give us a little bit of structure before we can weld the thing. It should be good. But we do have the police here. We're doing a VIN check finally, so we should be able to make it to the post office. Not the post office, the DMV. Sorry, I go to the post office too much. Let's mount this back up, see about where we're sitting. And, well, I already know it's gonna work. We did take the grinder to it, take the edge off. We just had to get it a little broken in, but here is our hillbilly redneck solid shifter mount. I love it. That feels so nice. When we do our final revision, we'll trim this up so it doesn't contact our shifter itself. But shoot, for now, that's money right there. Arguably the biggest downfall here is this little shifter boot. I don't know entirely what to do with it, but as long as it sits here and covers up the majority, I mean, that's good enough for me. It's at least doing its job somewhat. Let's pull it out and let's fit our shifter bezel. Yeah, I know we still got to get a control for it right here, but for now, just to help solidify our interior a little bit. Finish it off. Just kidding. This is finishing it off. Sweet. Interior should be all done. Ah, psych. We still have our seat controls. Fin check's all checked out. Let's head over to the DMV and let's get this thing tiled. We just found out the DMV is closed today. At least the good DMV, the one that gets you in and out real quick, doesn't give you any problems. Now I gotta go to Marion DMV. Oh man. If any of you guys are local, you just know Marion DMV sucks. Well, guess we have no other choice. We're driving this thing today. Well, let maximum frustration commence. So I go to send the cops over to fill all this stuff out. Dude doesn't even fill out his specific portion of this. So now I'm gonna waste over an hour of my day, probably 20 bucks in gas, driving back and forth to the DMV for something that should have already been fixed. Now, I really hope I don't get the same dude when I go back in here. Part of me does because he's a nice guy. He's just doing his job, but I kind of got irritated when I walked out, if you guys couldn't tell from that last clip. Check this out. Literally, the cop did everything he's supposed to do down here. Look at what I had to fill in after I came down here and paged them back to town hall. They needed to know it's a 93 Nissan 300ZX convertible. Dude, I can't just fill that out. Cop runs a VIN, it doesn't say what it is. You just type in the VIN. Let's head back over here and get this nail in the coffin. I am over this. We officially are sorted. We saved $5 saving a plate. We're not ordering new ones, so let's head back home and take this thing for a spin. Pretty stoked that they let me reuse my plate at least. Let's swap this up there and then see the last couple of things we have to do, if it's something we need to do or we just want to. Let's pull these two front bolts off, pull the seat out, and see how we can hook up our switch assembly, and honestly see if it even works. Shouldn't be plugged into anything, it should just come out. Oh man, that is disgusting. So I have never taken the seat out, as you can tell. Everything is perfect. Ah, wow. At least we got seat bolts down here. A little bit of extra hardware too. I guess on a good note, we have $1 here. Hey, you want to go buy me a pop?
Why? Not really.
There you go, donation.
Thanks.
We're definitely going to go grab the vacuum before we put the seat back in. Let's flip the seat over and see what we're working with on the bottom side. So we've got, what, 5 plugs, 6 plugs on this? That should mount about like that. Where do all of these go? Safe to say these two go together. These are going to go accordingly here, match those connectors together, or at least the plastics. And this, I'm going to have to guess, is what plugs into the chassis. This plug goes right down here and powers your motor. We may have to hook this up, kind of set it in the car, raise it, get a little bit more room in between here so we can actually slide that in. Then we're on to mount. Managed to mount our control box, but we did plug it in. It goes forward, backwards, and the lumbar moves up and down. Bottom of the seat also moves up and down. Before we put it in, let's sweep it up. Oh yeah, just enough. Oh no, we just sucked up a quarter. It's not good. Car's all wrapped up. Interior is officially done. Actually, let's go grab a shift knob. Now I wonder, where would I ever find a shift knob? Oh yeah, here's one I don't like. Have no idea what brand or whatever. All I know is when it sits in the sun like it has right now, it becomes a hot potato. And we do not want that. Still burning my hand. Thing is hot. I think that'll do it. Jump pack is on. I think it's time to go for a test drive. Nice, can't forget the jiggle. We will actually touch up our ABS before Eric gets it, just to verify there is no leaks, and not leaks, but there's no air in the system. Let's let the car warm up a little bit, and we're gonna put you guys up here on the GoPro mount, and let's take our first test drive in this convertible. Well, other than my around the block lap. I'm super excited. Alright, so it's officially time to go. I just grabbed a backup battery just in case you guys die. Well, the car wasn't timed. We actually had to retime it. I forgot when we put this all in, the last wiring harness, we couldn't get any signal for cylinder 1. Well, you time your car off of cylinder 1. So, happened to remember that before we took off. We got it tuned back down to 15 degrees before top dead center. The moment I've been waiting for quite a long time. Let's take a little cruise. So the biggest thing here is just to make sure the car doesn't die, because it's actually acting very finicky to jump and drive. So I did completely forget or disregard the front brake rotors. That is something that we do need to change, or at least provide, when Eric takes this. I hope my tires are aired up too. Let's see if we can clean them rotors up a little bit. They sound horrible. It's so relieving to be driving in a convertible right now. You already get like all the air. Now we're literally getting all the air with no top on. How about we go drive by a couple of my friends' house? Let's go by Noah and Colton's and see what they're up to. Dang, it sounds good. Yeah. Farty straight pipe stock mufflers. Alright, Colton, what you up to? Now that I think about it, I wonder if we're just getting an exhaust leak down here through our shifter tunnel. That may be what the smell and all that weirdness is that we're kind of having issues with, or being kind of concerned about, I should say. Also, I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me. I didn't think about that until now, after, you know, we've already recorded all this. Oh, Colton's not home. Hey. Now that I think about it, is he moving? None of his 3 vehicles were there. I guess we're going by Noah's next. Dude, VTEC is so nice. Holy crap. I haven't driven a VTC car in so long. This thing gets. That extra 30 horsepower goes a long way. I'm pretty sure my wheels are on tight. I hope that's something that I checked previously. I don't know why. It kind of backfires on D-cell when we're about to hit the brake. Or you do hit the brake. Noah's not outside. What a shame. He was outside. I'm having too much fun right now. Maybe we need to go up to the park. Let's snag a thumbnail. If any of you guys follow my Instagram, you would have known I did a little bait post. You want another convertible video? Well, too bad. You're getting it anyways. This thing definitely needs some new bushings. Oh, I know why it rides so bad too. We have coilovers on this thing. I totally forgot. I like this thing. Sorry, Eric, it's not for sale anymore. Just kidding. Hey, I think my mom's in front of me. Scrap guy. He was in the last video with the Vert. Let's just keep cruising around, see if we can figure out a thumbnail, and I'll let you know if we find anything interesting, or anyone at that. I think we're going to head back home for real now. We've got pretty much all the joy that we wanted to out of this ride. Everything has worked good. The final things we have to do, cut the brake pedal, trunk plastics or trunk interior, possibly brakes. That's subject. If he wants to get new ones, he can do that. And and our drive shaft. I came to the realization I can only change, well, not only, but I can only change the front half shaft of another manual to make up and have that good center support bearing so we can still run it. If not, it's just going to be vibrating. And I haven't even drove this thing like up to speed. Between the rotors and the drive shaft or carrier bearing, this thing is shaky. I believe our joyride's coming to an end. Man, I love the way this thing takes off. Oh man, I can't wait to put VTC back in my car. Now all we gotta do is take my dog on a drive. We told him we got it registered today. He's stoked about that, so hopefully, I don't know, hopefully we can get him to come over here and pick it up soon. One less car in my driveway and full motivation for my slick top. That's how I look at it. Let's tarp this thing up for one of the final times. Today, other than the mishap at the DMV, everything is fine. We actually came out on top. Things went the way we wanted them to, other than a second trip to Marion. I'm super happy, super pleased with how this came out. Now you guys kind of get an idea in the world of Caden. So I've got 10 plus cars now. I was gonna say 300, but I've got 300s, all right. I've got too many cars. And I mentioned last video about the 10%. Well, this is the final 10% to do to this car. Just all these different little things. And in the grand scheme of things, that adds up to be a lot. There wasn't anything too serious done. It's super easy to get your car to this point and just be like, all right, it runs, it drives, it works. Let's just drive it. Well, the creature comforts and the little things to make you love the vehicle that much more really come in that last 10%. So just push through, get it done. And well, you see, if not, you'll be like me. You'll have 20 different projects out here, all at a different stage in the project, and you will be just chasing your tail, running in circles, not getting anything done. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm kind of all over the place. You guys know we're trying to make some money, so once we can get things sorted out and situated a little bit better where we can just go on one build to bust it all out, those are the days we're looking forward to pretty much. So we're just going to keep working now, doing what we're doing, keep pumping out some videos for you guys, and thank you guys for watching. And honestly, thank you guys for all the kind, encouraging words that you have to say over on Instagram. The love is unreal. Like, the motivation has been unreal lately. Today, like, I actually put in the work and got some stuff done. I mean, yeah, we didn't work as hard doing like a tranny swap or an engine pull, whatever, but we stayed focused, we stayed committed, and we got done. We're wrapping up the video here, you guys, if you couldn't tell. Probably really not going to show you much more on the Vert other than us just driving it, or if we just have to like change something stupid here and there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed to make this video. And now let's figure out what Eric wants and let's get our slick top fixed. Thank you guys for watching. If you could, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below, as it really helps out the channel and it puts us out there in the algorithm and helps bump our channel in the pages to help people see it and help our channel grow. So thank you again, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.